Hey YouTube, so today we're going to be planting parsley, beets, and radishes, and I'm going to be giving you an update on every plant that we have planted so far in this series. If you want to be planting along with us, in the description box below I have a calendar that I've made just for you of what I'm planting and when, and you can go ahead and download it. It is absolutely free and for your use. If you're asking yourself like, why are we doing this in October, it's because if you live in a tropical or subtropical environment like I do, now is actually the beginning of our growing season, so we need to get our gardens going. So that's why today we're working on parsley, beets, and radishes. I've already set up our seed trays with compost, so we can go ahead and start planting. So here we have the parsley that we're going to be growing today. So I already have my compost set up. I would do 2 to 3 seeds in each cell and see how it goes. So then we're just going to go ahead and cover it with a little bit of compost. Okay, so go like that. And then just put that there. So I'm going to let you know, I'm going to do the radishes and the beets in 2 separate ways. I am going to start some in the seed starters, but I'm also going to start some in the bed just to see which ones do better. In my experiences, radishes and beet seedlings tend to be just a little bit sensitive, and I don't always like transplanting them, which is why I'm going to attempt to start some in the bed so that I don't have to worry about transplanting it. So I am going to be doing it both ways in order to see which one works best. I'm still in the process of updating my raised beds, and not really updating, but every season you just need to refill it with fresh soil, and so I am in the process of doing that right now, because just look at how everything's doing really well, and it's all getting ready to go there. So we'll be doing updates on everything else in a little bit, but in the meantime I just want you to know that I am going to be planting beets and radishes here, but I'll also be direct sowing them later. So here we have radishes, and this is what the seeds look like. So then this one definitely takes, when seeds are big, you can go ahead and assume that means 1 seed per cell. And then again, just cover it with compost as we've been doing, and that is pretty much all set up. There we go, and that one's all set up, and now that leaves beets for this one. This is what a beet seed looks like. There we go. And then again, because they're big, 1 in each one, and that should be good. Cover with the compost. This is the fertile earth compost that I've been telling you about, and it has been absolutely amazing for starting seeds because it's so fine. So you see how there are no pieces of anything in it, there are no wood chips. That's what makes it good for starting seeds. It's very thin and nutritious, so that is what helps. Beets. Alrighty. So there we go. We started the beets, radishes, and parsley. I'm really excited for the parsley. I'm really excited to make chimichurri specifically, so yay for the parsley. One of the things I want to show you is we have a few success stories here. So the squash is doing really well, the cucumbers are doing really well. Around the corner, I've created some teepees where I'm going to plant the squash and the cucumbers at the base of those teepees and just give them something to grow on. And we'll see how they do. I really wanted to talk to you about the Cuban oregano. Look at how well it's doing. So basically, the way I have these divided is that whenever I start seeds, I start them on the shelves. And the reason I start them on the shelves is because they get a lot of heat, they get some indirect sunlight, but it's nothing too disastrous for the seedlings, because since they're not getting direct sunlight, the sunlight isn't frying them. As they've gotten bigger, I've gone ahead and moved them to this table where they do get some direct sun every single day, which is why I have them divided like this. So now I want to show you these seedlings that we have started. Initially, they were on the shelves. Now I'm going to move them out here, and it's because they have gotten so big. So the collard greens do well depending on how hot it is outside. So when it's really hot outside, they flop a little, and when it cools off, they stand up a little bit straighter. So I do think they will be good to plant out in the bed once the bed is set up. Here we have the basil. So look at how beautiful the basil is doing, right? It is looking awesome. So I think this is almost ready for a 3-inch pot. Like I mentioned, I'm only going to be setting 2 up. I only really think I need 2 basil plants. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Look at how the dahlias are doing. Also doing amazing. 4 have germinated out of the 6, which is a little bit less, I think, germination than we've had with almost everything else. With everything else, I haven't really notice that anything is missing, but with the dahlias I have. But regardless, the seedlings we have there are doing incredibly well, looking super strong, so everything is going to be going well. They are not ready for a 3-inch pot yet, but they are looking really good. Here we have, if I remember, these are the sweet peppers. One of the things I want to show you, so here we have the sweet peppers, and they are doing fine. They are ready for a 3-inch pot. And I'll be moving these on rather soon. Also, the peppers, going to be moving on. More collard greens. What are you? Oh, I remember what this is. So these are the eggplants. They are doing wonderful. They will be ready. I would say these don't even really need a 3-inch pot. These will probably go directly into the bed once I have it set up. The arugula. So I did, if you're on the email list, and you get on the email list by going and signing up on my website, which is in the description box, and that's also where you get your calendar. But if you are on my email list, I told you that I went on vacation and my daughter was watering my plants. She's 7, and it's rather easy because since I have these trays set up, she just has to fill it in. She missed a few days. So some of my more delicate plants did have a hard time, and arugula was one of them. When I came home, what I did to clean them up was I cut off like the dried leaves just so that they weren't draining the plant. But look, it's still looking good. So we'll be planting this arugula. I would say it's fine. It's not ready for a 3-inch pot or planting out, but we planted it not too long ago, so it's doing well. And here is the lettuce. The lettuce, I think it looks like it's struggling. The reason I say the lettuce looks like it's even though it's getting big, and I will be planting this out, this is looking good. It does look a little wilted. It does seem like it's struggling with the heat. As I mentioned to you, it is a risk planting lettuce at this stage of the year. It's October. I've heard from professionals that they won't plant lettuce until November because it simply can't deal with the heat. I will plant this out and see what happens. I don't think there's any harm in that. So if you want to do the same, go right ahead. And then I will show you how I'll go ahead and show you the teepees and the squashes and how they're doing. I also think that I might plant the squashes and cucumbers around my pool. We'll see, but I kind of have the infrastructure set up that it might work out. So if you're enjoying this series, want to see how everything's doing, you're also in a tropical or subtropical climate, go ahead, like and subscribe so that YouTube lets you know the next time that I upload a video and you can see how everything's doing. Don't forget to go get your own calendar so that for the next video you can plant along with me. Okay, bye.